Welcome to Caricomp Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
The last time you filled out a form for a new job, there was probably a line asking whether anyone in your family has had cancer, or diabetes, or heart disease. In Illinois, answering that question is legally the same thing as handing over a DNA test. Not similar to, the same as. If you've ever been hired, or ever will be, this touches you. Because that question feels routine. A checkbox between your emergency contact and your shirt size. But there's a state law that treats your mother's diagnoses as your genetic information. And employers are now getting sued by the dozen for asking. I want to walk you through how a single line on a paper form became a multi-million-dollar problem and what it says about who owns your family's medical story. So how does a health question turn into a genetic test? The law is called the Genetic Information Privacy Act. Illinois. People shorten it to GIPA. And it defines genetic testing more broadly than almost anyone expects. It covers a genetic test of you, it covers a genetic test of your relatives, and then it covers something that isn't a test at all, what the statute calls the manifestation of a disease or disorder in your family members. In plain English, that means your dad's actual illness, his symptoms, his diagnosis. No lab, no cheek swab, no sequencing machine, just a fact about someone you're related to. Why would a law go that far? Because family history genuinely predicts risk. According to peer-reviewed research on family history as a risk tool, one close relative diagnosed younger than average can raise your own odds of that disease by 2 to 5 times. And with a strongly inherited pattern, an individual's risk can reach 50% or higher. That's the whole reason the information is legally sensitive. It's not gossip, it's prediction. And a prediction about your future health is exactly the kind of thing an employer or an insurer might quietly care about. Now, most people assume the line gets crossed only when someone uses that information against you. That belief makes sense, and here's why. The federal law everyone's heard of, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, is a discrimination law. It's about misuse. The Illinois statute is built differently. It bans the collection itself. An employer can violate it by asking the question and then throwing the answer straight in a drawer. The request is the harm, and that changes the math dramatically. The law sets fixed damages, $2,500 for a careless violation, $15,000 for a reckless or intentional one. Nobody has to prove they were injured. So a company that puts that question on a form and hands it to 500 applicants in one hiring season is looking at exposure somewhere between $1.25 million and $7.5 million. From one line of text. Attorneys noticed. More than 10 class actions have been filed in Cook County alone, all built on employers asking about family medical history during hiring. There's one more trap worth knowing about. Workplace wellness programs. You know the ones, fill out this health survey, get a discount on your premium, it's completely optional. The statute doesn't recognize that distinction. Voluntary or mandatory, the solicitation is what's prohibited. For employers, that means the friendly wellness questionnaire carries the same risk as the hiring form. For the rest of us, it means you can decline that survey without owing anyone an explanation. The real shift here isn't legal. It's about ownership. Your family's medical history was never only yours to give away. It belongs to your mother, your brother, your grandmother, none of whom were in the room when you filled out that form. Illinois decided the fix wasn't to police how that information gets used. It was to stop the question from being asked in the first place. So, 3 things. Your family's health history counts as your genetic information under Illinois law. Employers there aren't allowed to ask for it, not on a hiring form, not in a wellness survey. And the asking is the violation, even if nobody ever reads the answer. You don't need a law degree to use that. You just need to know that when a form asks about your mom, you're allowed to pause. The written version goes deeper. Links below.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, Caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.